poet, activist, and author of Do You Read from Cinderella, please welcome to the stage. It came from Spanish Harlem, Maria Aponte! ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? Bien, gracias. I am 100% Puerto Rican, Puerto Rican, born and raised in El Barrio. We did not call it Spanish Harlem, it was called El Barrio. Whenever you say Spanish Harlem, I think of that song, A Rose in Spanish Harlem, and I am definitely not a rose from Spanish Harlem. I grew up on 117th Street and 2nd Avenue. I went to St. Paul's Catholic School on Park Avenue. I went to Cathedral High School. I graduated from Marymount Manhattan College, and I currently work at Fordham University. And please, can we have half of your property? I just bought coffee in a little cab near the library, and I just came back. I said, man, I really feel poor. They know. The Jesuits are used to me. I'm always sassing them to let's me. Because I was a bad Catholic schoolgirl. So, my story has to do with being a teenager in El Barrio in the 19s. And I consider myself a civil rights baby. I was living in El Barrio when there was race riots, when there were garbage strikes, and when a group called the Young Lords were living down the block from me, trying to start and organizing rights for Puerto Ricans. I did not see any other culture in my neighborhood except for the Italians that lived over on Pleasant Avenue on 116th Street, and my African American brothers and sisters across town, because we grew up with a magic line. And you have to have been born and raised to know what this magic line is. If you lived on the east side of Harlem, you stayed on that side. If you lived on the west side of Harlem, you did not go to the west side of Harlem because you were going to get your ass kicked. That's just the way it was. The dividing line was the Park Avenue L. I grew up with La Maqueta when it was a real Maqueta running from 115th Street all the way down to 110th Street. My grandparents, when they came from Puerto Rico, which is Guamo in Mayagüez, lived on 115 in Park. So, moving forward. War on Poverty program, yes. Everybody in Washington felt that we needed help. So they created what was called CAP programs. And part of the CAP programs was art. Let's take art to the uncivilized children in the ghetto, because we were real ghetto children. It was not immortalized in rap music or hip hop. It was the ghetto. And it looked like a war zone. The Kennedys went to the Appalachian Mountains, and we got Johnson. So, here's the deal. You thought I didn't know my history. We gotcha. All right. So, when I was a teenager, there was this pageant. It was called the Miss East Harlem pageant. And my mom, God rest her soul, decided that I needed to be in this pageant because there was scholarship. And she didn't know that the scholarship was that eventually it was a scholarship to go to modeling school. She thought it was a scholarship for education, because my mother was obsessed that I was going to get an education. We were a Puerto Rican family that spoke, wrote, and read English. My mother liked Agatha Christie and Alfred Hitchcock. And when the social workers would come to the house, they would look at her and go, Mrs. Aponte, because nobody knows how to say my last name correctly. It's Aponte. And it's Marie, right? You can't possibly be a Maria because you don't look like a Maria from West Side Story. It's Marie, right? And I'm like, no, it's Maria. Anyway, so my mother puts me in this contest, and it was at Union Settlement, 104th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. A very famous actor went there who I thought was really hot when he was alive and kicking, and he used to do a lot of physical work in movies, and his name was Burt Lancaster. Woo! Yes, he came out of Union Settlement. So they have this pageant, And it was the year of, now I'm really give it away. Diana Ross was hot that summer. It was a movie called Mahogany.
Yeah.
The movie sucked, but the wardrobe was fabulous. Girlfriend had it going on. Because you see, being a Puerto Rican growing up in El Barrio meant that you hung out with your brothers and sisters from the west side, because my building was made up of blacks, Puerto Ricans, and a sprinkle of Italians, and a couple of Jewish families still hanging out in the building because they were there since the building was built. And they weren't leaving. So when you walked into my building, you had soul music, you had Italian sauce smelling somewhere else, and then you had the loud Puerto Ricans that were constantly told to turn off Joe Cuba. It ain't happening. So anyway, we're getting back to this pageant. I'm trying to paint the picture here. So I go and I said, oh my God, I'm in this pageant. It was a traditional pageant. Yes, it had a talent show, a swimming competition, and a gown competition. So I wanted to buy my own gown because I saw Mahogany. So I went to Alexander's on 59th Street in Lexington. Does anybody remember? You're just as old as I am. Okay. All right. So I run down to 59th Street and I found this beautiful red gown and chiffon and it had spaghetti straps. My grandmother was having a fit because she could sew. And I'm going to wear this gown, and that was it. Pageant comes, talent show comes up. I decide I want to sing cabaret because Liza Minnelli and the movie was out at the same time, and I used to like to mimic albums. I get on stage with my gown, and it was hot and humid, so my beautiful hairdo went to pot because once the humidity hit, my afro came out. But I was fine. I was going to do it. Yeah, I had hair. And I was all that, okay? Watch it. So, and I could still do like this, like if I still have hair. All right. So I get up on the stage, and for some reason I have no idea why, and I was obsessed with having a cane. Go figure. I grew up watching musicals, so I was a cross between Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly and Judy Garland, and Pancho Villa and all those other things. Okay? So I asked for this cane, and because we're poor. This was not a Broadway cane. Somebody said, okay, toma mija. They gave me their walking cane. And I go up on the stage, which was covered with lots and lots and lots of crepe paper and paper mache. This is a poor neighborhood. We bought our stuff at Woolworths and a place called Press that used to be on 106th and 3rd Avenue. I know my neighborhood, okay? I don't know what's there now, but I know my neighborhood. So I get up there and there's all this crepe paper, and of course, local ladies were wearing platform heels. So I'm with the gown and the platform heels, and I go up and I start singing my song. And I got this cane, and you know I look ridiculous. Nobody would say anything because we're teenagers, and I'm singing this song. And when I get to the part when I go, and when I go, sorry, I cracked. I went like this, and the cane flew out into the audience. It landed on concrete, and all I heard was clap, and everybody got quiet. I heard this one low voice, and it said, I beat him. I froze, and I kept singing the damn song. I go to get off the stage, and then they have these little ushers with the little polyester bow tie, because it's supposed to walk you back to the chairs. I'm getting off the stage, and I said, oh shit, I blew it, I blew it, I blew it, oh shit, I blew it. I go down the stairs, the heel gets stuck in all the crepe paper. I'm not making this up. And I'm walking like this, and all this crepe paper's following me, and the poor guy's trying to pull the crepe paper off the foot because they gave us, they gave us etiquette classes so we could learn how to walk. Because we must walk correctly. And the paper's in the foot and everything, and I go sit down. Lo and behold, I won. I get crowned. And I'm getting crowned, and all I'm doing is saying, I know why you gave this to me, because I didn't hit anyone on the head in the judge's seat. But the funny part was when we're leaving, we're walking out, and in those days you walked everywhere. You didn't jump on the bus, nobody picked you up. It was no big deal to walk from 104th Street back to 117th Street. Today, I'll take the bus. So we're walking, and we're my family, we're talking and everything, and I turned around and I said, but who said I beat him? It was my grandmother. And I looked at her and she smiles at me. And to remember this story, I still have the dress. And it's wrapped in plastic in the closet somewhere in my home in the Bronx, because we're Bronxites. And every once in a while I look at it and I still see that damn cane flying out to the audience and the paper mache crepe paper hanging off on my heels. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Gotcha!